everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be setting up my 2022 reading journal. A new year means a new journal, and I am in love with mine from Archer and Olive. This isn't sponsored at all, I'm just obsessed with this company. I have been using their journals for 3 years now, and I couldn't imagine using anything else. This is the A5 Vernal Dot Grid notebook. It has 160 pages and a faux leather cover. I'll link it down in my description box if you want to check it out. I really loved the color and the design, and I am so excited to finally start planning in it. For my 2022 setup, I have decided to go with a kind of collage theme for my journal. I really want to work more with mixed media in my journal this year, so I think you'll see that evident throughout these spreads. On the first page, we have my grid spacing cheat sheet. This is so I can look back and easily find the dimensions for anything I might want, as well as a quick guide to the midpoints for each page. This is really useful for my monthly spreads, especially when I want to evenly space out different boxes. Next to that is my cover page. I found a bunch of images on Pinterest that kind of captured my aesthetic, and I printed them out to create a small 2x2 mood board. I also found this illustration on Canva that reminded me of myself, so I printed that out to kind of act as the unifier for the page. Finally, I taped down the title. Most of the titles in this spread are printed out because my handwriting is not the best. On the next page is my Books of 2022 spread. This is one of my favorite spreads to do each year because it is essentially a big bookshelf that allows me to look at all the books that I read throughout the year. I do have a reading goal this year, but you're going to have to stay tuned because that video and that announcement is coming in a few weeks. Something different that I did with the spread this year is have a key for how I plan to rate my books. I have matched each star rating with a color, and I want to color in the books the color that I rate the books. I'm really excited to see how this is going to look by the end of the year, and I think it'll just be kind of a good indicator of how much I enjoyed the books over the course of 2022. To decorate this page, I added some craft paper to the top, and then I layered my title over it and added a few little cutouts that I think matched the aesthetic of the page. And that's my books read spread. Next up is my 2022 goals page. I have 5 big goals for 2022, but once again, you're gonna have to stay tuned for my reading goals video, which will be released in January. I wanted this page to look really cozy. I added some craft paper to the bottom, as well as a few little cutouts I found on Pinterest. Essentially, I wanted this entire setup to feel like a warm hug. On the next page, I have my reading statistics spread. I did something like this last year, but the way I formatted it wasn't really useful to me, and I had a hard time keeping track and remembering to keep track throughout the year. So I did it a little bit different this year, and I think this format will be a lot more useful to me. I have a box for each of the months of the year, and as I go through each month, I will be tallying if the books I read were physical books, audiobooks, or ebooks. Another thing I added to my reading journal this year is a spread to help me keep track of all the books that I have bought for myself or books that people have sent me. For this spread, I've created 2 big boxes where I will be recording all of my bookish purchases, as well as books that have been sent to me, as well as who those books were from. So this next spread is probably one of my favorites that I have done this year. It is my anticipated reads page. Every year I make a list of all the books coming out that I want to read, and these were the top 12 being released that I cannot wait to get my hands on. In the past, I have usually just created a table and wrote down the titles that are coming out, but I like this version a lot better. I like seeing the visual of all the books, and below each of them I drew 5 circles so that I can record what I rated them as they come out. My favorite book of the year spread also looks a little different than in years past. This time I decided to go with a bracket. Each month I will be writing down my favorite book from that month and then pitting them against each other until finally one remains. I have no idea how this will turn out by the end of the year. Usually I end up with more than one favorite every year, but I'm not opposed to having multiple winners in this bracket. Overall, I think it looks really cool and I am so excited to fill it out. The final page in my setup is also a new one for me. This upcoming year, one of my main focuses is self-care. I will be writing a letter to myself and putting it in this little envelope in my reading journal, not to be opened until December 2022. In the letter, I will be putting my hopes and my dreams for the year so that my future self can look back and reflect. I'm really excited about this spread, and I think it makes the entire journal more meaningful. So let's go to my final flip through. I am quite obsessed with how this turned out. As I said earlier, I really just wanted this intro space to feel really cozy and set the tone for the year, and I feel like it did exactly that. Everything from the illustrations to the images just make me really happy. As you can see, I have added a few more images and illustrations to each of the spreads, and I think it all just came together really, really well. And that is my 2022 reading journal setup. I will link last year's video below if you guys want some more inspiration, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single week. I hope everyone who celebrates has a Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!